This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Well, the big Gov is in the studio. Last week was such a big week for the great man announcing his retirement from AFL football, and we thought a momentous occasion like this deserves a big package, which you reckon you have. Here's another one, Gov. Tell you what, we live when the old governor comes into the studio, Jeremy McGovern. We're all up and about. You have been named.
Yep.
So,
Squeaky over here, sorry.
Do you have a premiership tattoo?
Yeah, I got.
You got
a
that one?
Premiership West Coast one and a Claremont one.
Where are those ones?
CFC.
On my ass.
Butt cheek each.
Yeah, on my cheeks. I was a plumber. I was 2 metres deep in a hole. When
In
I
a trench?
And what did you do? Just drop the plunge
I
and walk
literally,
off?
I literally jumped out. He said, well, you got to finish this off. I said, nah, that's all yours, mate. And I made it. So that was huge. You guys don't wear Crocs?
No.
Well,
Mate,
go with it. Don't get me wrong, they're not the prettiest looking
They
shoes.
don't look bad on you.
They are comfy.
Will you go a croc and sock?
Yeah.
I'm crocking and
Yeah.
socking.
Yeah. Okay, and then at home when you're just like by yourself, you know, just the family, are you croc, sock and jocking?
Yeah. No, I'm croc
definitely
socking, no jocking.
How are you with modelling?
Terrible. That's the reason I'm on the radio.
Hey, just look to your right there,
I'm sure we can all relate.
We're live from Bull Creek Primary School this morning, celebrating Book Week in style, and it's time for story time with Jeremy McGovern.
Don't
All
get
right,
too excited.
The kids are really beside
Careful
themselves.
what you wish for.
Give a cheer if Jeremy McGovern's good at reading a book. Go.
Wow.
Give a cheer if Jeremy McGovern is better playing football. Go.
I think that was their friend out.
I would have been worried if they didn't scream the second time.
I've got something else for you to try, Gov.
All right.
A delicacy.
Oh.
It's called salted licorice.
Yeah, all of it.
What do you think?
Filthy. I won't be forgetting that, that's for sure.
Now you can see through time.
No shorty back today, but auditioning for his job as we speak. Jeremy
I think he's
McGovern.
doing a bang-up job.
I'm trying. We're still looking extremely fit, Shawnee.
Oh, okay. You're married, so maybe
So
like
see,
step off.
settle down.
Like it.
Yeah. You do want his job, though, you're saying. Yeah. Do you think this
It's
job
not that I want it, it's just that I've already got it. But I just want to do the right thing by Shawnee.
It's
we all
a
do,
natural
yeah.
progression for you post-football.
Yeah, no, maybe in 5 years, 10 years when I finish.
Tell me, did you fall for a shooting star?
I'll try help for sure, and
Yes.
I feel like I can contribute, but I don't think I'm going to change the game. No,
Yeah.
if we win
No,
on
we're
Saturday,
expecting big things.
I'm going to be claiming every bit of it.
Oh, you thought we were going to do
10
highlights of
years.
your career, but it was just
no.
highlights of you talking to us.
Yeah. No, they were good highlights.
Yeah, and you are wearing Crocs to this day.
Yeah, I'm staying true to the Crocs. If Crocs are out there, you'll buy that many of them. Send me a couple of pairs.
Did you remember all that stuff? Because the licorice bit, you looked like you were remembering
Oh.
it.
Yeah, no, I do now.
I look at that footage from time to time. It just makes me so happy.
Yeah, it's been a while on here. I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
many
know.
years have I been on here. It's
Is it
been,
3?
it's been
4?
yeah, there you go. A few years. It felt
Yeah.
like forever. To be
Yeah,
honest,
it
it's been good. It's been hell fun. So I loved it.
Hey, Gov, last time we were here, last Friday, you told us that you had to speak to the team before you announced your retirement.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people come up to us and go, you had Gov on this morning
Yeah.
on your side. But
You did tell us off air, but of course it's not right that you announce it to the world before you speak to the guys. And
Yeah.
because the Eagles had been on a 4-day break, nobody was around to tell. I had to wait till they all got together again.
Yeah, there was a lot of phone calls, and then obviously had to wait until the boys got in and do all that. So yeah, I'll let you guys know first for sure, because part of me family, I guess. And you did the right thing and not tell anyone.
how did
So
it
was
go,
nice.
mate?
It was tough. Yeah, very tough. Like that's
Yeah.
the thing I think as a footballer you dread doing.
And you know it has to happen at some point in your career.
Yeah.
Yours probably a little bit earlier than anybody would have wanted. But still, it's like that almost a rite of passage. You've got to go through it in order to just put the exclamation point at the end of your career. But it's not easy.
It's such a weird one because you know you got to do it and you like sort of want to do it.
Yeah.
But then when you get thrown in there, I'm like, oh shit, this is hard.
And even if you write everything down and you know what you want to say, it's not the same as standing in front of those teammates and saying it to their little faces are looking up at you.
Yeah, that was the hardest bit. It was good to see that people
Did you
actually
just, look
cared.
at the ceiling?
I'm just like looking up and there's a few boys bolting up. I'm like, oh, good.
It's all right.
Good to know.
Yeah.
And then my missus, Maddie's in the front row smiling, going, finally.
I've got him to myself.
Yeah, so, no, it was emotional stuff. And, hardest thing I've had to do for a long time. But at the same time, that's part of the game and part of the beauty of it. And that's why you play, I guess, in a way, is to get a little bit of love back from everyone. We probably don't say it to each other enough of how much we...
Yeah, that's true.
It's something I've really learned or seen over the last week or so is that I feel completely different now to what I did when I was playing.
Yeah, sure.
And it's just purely because we just get on. It's such a quick, fast industry. We don't really have time to sit around and talk and tell everyone how much we love them.
Yeah, that's right.
Not until they're done. So, it's been good little process to go through, but... at the same time, I'm glad it's over. It's not hanging over my head.
Well, now you're in a new club. You're in Sean McManus's gang of being an ex-footballer.
Yeah.
You just get to laze around and do nothing. Have you been enjoying doing that this week?
Yeah, I have and I haven't. I've been waking up going, what am I?
What do I do? What do I do today?
So you stopped going. I wondered if you were going to stop going to the club. I know you've finished, but... You know, you can still
going to hang around because
and...
Sean still goes down the dock.
It's
been 15 years, mate. Let it go.
He put his hand up for the mid-season draft.
That was the Carlton draft. When I finished on the whatever day it was, Saturday, for example, I'd made a deal with Paul Hazelby because he was coming back from a knee reconstruction that I would train with him, and his first training session was on the Monday, and I turned up to run with him.
And everyone went, he doesn't know he doesn't work here anymore.
Yeah.
He doesn't even go here.
He was feeling that sad for me because this bastard won't just
let go.
Let go.
Let it go. He's going to tell him.
Yeah, I did say to Hayes, I'll help you get through and I'll run with you whenever you need to run. So that was embarrassing. I did feel a bit bad in the end.
I don't know if I'll be running Shawnee. I'm not going to miss that. But no, I've gone in for a couple of meetings in there with the club, but most of this week I've just been taking a bit of time and sorting a few things out outside of footy, and then I'll definitely be around the boys for the rest of the year. I'd imagine on what capacity, don't know yet, but I'll be helping out wherever I can, and I'll be cheering them on from the stands. But I don't know what it looks like right now. I've got a lot of things. Obviously, I've got with the concussion stuff. I've got to get all that sorted first, and then I'll slowly look to get back into the group. They're away this weekend, obviously with Collingwood, and then hopefully next week I'll be back in some capacity. I don't know what yet, but I'll figure that out. I've got time.
Gav, one of the things happens when you retire, there's people who reach out from all over the place. So I want to know opposition footy players / administrators and the AFL, did they reach out to you? By that I mean the CEO.
No, not yet. Not the same guy. But I've had a few other players reach out, which is always nice, I think, because you obviously we all play the game, and you admire a lot of different players, and you've had a few reach out, like Harris Andrews and Tom Stewart's and those type of guys that have sort of been in similar positions to what I have, and I guess from afar we obviously follow each other's career a bit. Yeah. And then obviously same thing, not until you finish.
So what do they just slide into your DMs? Is that what happens?
Yes. I think Harris got me a number from Alex Withering. You can find a way. But they're always nice to get those messages from those type of guys that you've obviously admired yourself.
Yeah, of course.
And you respect, and they know what it takes and what the game demands and what we got to go through is in that particular position. So they're always nice to get those messages, and past players and everything like that is always good. But the best ones that I had was my junior coaches.
Yeah, awesome.
So I gave a couple of those guys a call and told them I'm retiring, and that was where it really hit home. Is they've been following my career.
Yeah, that's right. That's where
it starts. Yeah. with those guys. So it was nice to give them a call, emotional, but it was really nice to give them a bit of recognition. Yeah, because. Yeah, I hope they understand that that's where your footy starts, your journey starts
exactly.
there.
Like they're invested in your whole career.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pivotal people throughout everyone's career that help you out. But for me, I had a lot. I was a lot of baggage in a lot of different ways. A lot of it was on my stomach, but I had a lot of things and a little bit of a different way of getting there. Yeah. So I had a lot of people that helped. So I'm slowly trying to get around to them over the next few weeks and say thanks and. Appreciate them for what they've done and just let them know, because these junior coaches still back down in Albany for me, a lot of them still coaching away, and I just wanted to let them know that might be another young gov down there.
Yes.
So just keep doing what you're doing because it impacts now. And it's the first thing I thought about when I retired. I was
That's so great.
how'd I get here? I thought, oh, there you go. It sort of started there. And then obviously all the people along the way.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
We wanted to sort of reflect on a few of the moments from your career and get your side of the story. Ross is obsessed with you too.
Oh, I hadn't seen this. Okay, I'm going to play you the April last year. This is the vision in the big screen, but you'll hear it as well.
This season, the Sydney Swans, you would think would be finals bound, and
Big
how is McGovern
shoulder to the
after
jaw.
that hip and shoulder? It seemed like he had a tooth issue, whether it's a tooth he spat out and handed. I'm not a dentist, but
Bits out your tooth, hand it to the trainer,
And then goes back to play.
as if you're just wiping off like a bit of snot or something.
Yeah, you wear your mouth guards, kids. I didn't have my mouth guard in. That's why I did it.
And you just kept going. Did it hurt?
I played my whole career with no mouth guard.
That is amazing.
Why? Why?
I don't know.
Did you first, and because when you first put in a mouth guard, you're like, oh no, I can't talk. I can't,
If you ever
can't
put it
breathe.
in, it sort of half makes you dry reach a bit.
Yeah.
And then I sound like an idiot normally. You put a mouth guard in and try to talk to someone's even worse.
Yeah.
And then I've obviously throughout my career there's a lot to get a lot of air into my lungs.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to mouth guard him the way
Sure.
of getting some air in. But yeah, I don't know. My mum and dad were furious about it, but
Yeah,
and so was many. Everyone was, but I just sort of didn't say much. I always had it on me.
Yeah.
But
you
I,
just
Did
carry
you
it
always
around.
had it on you in your sock? or
yeah,
your
like
shorts?
sometimes when I knew that the whips were cracking a little
Yeah,
bit, and I was
yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
well, you might have to do a little bit more here. I'd throw it in quickly because
Yes.
just in case. But yeah, nah.
And when
So-
Normally
you pass
I
your
didn't.
tooth off, it doesn't
To the
look like,
doc?
it doesn't look like you told him to put it in milk. It looks like you just got on with the job.
Yeah, because I didn't know what was, and then I felt it crack because it cracked it, and I was, it didn't hurt that much, and I was like, oh, here, take it. I got to get on with the game. I think we were right in that game against Sydney. They overrun us late, but I don't know. What I was
That is
doing
boss
with
move.
that.
That is a cool
know.
bit of
All right.
vision.
No Tooth Fairy though. I didn't get any money from the Tooth Fairy.
No, yeah, with that. My question for you is I want to talk to us about the run up to the 2018 grand final because it was the will he be playing, won't he be playing? You were dodgy
broken ribs.
Yeah, no, I didn't even have the broken ribs then.
So you broke them during the game, yeah? What
so-
was the injury that was going to stop you from playing?
It was like I hate the word internal bleeding but that's what it was.
What's that all?
But it just
That's it.
sounds way
Yes.
way worse, I guess, in a way. But,
What was bleeding internally? What was it?
So like I had a big cork, if that makes sense, but it was all
like a hematoma kind of
but it was
situation.
in around all your livers and
Yep.
stomachs and all that sort of jazz in there, and it was just we couldn't get it out. If that makes like a
Yes.
cork, you got to try to flush it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if you get a big cork, you can flush
Yeah.
it. So we couldn't get to
You
it
couldn't- yeah. Because your
and I
liver was in the way.
because we had the week off after that game. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. This is a blur. 'Cause
Yes.
I was in hospital until I think Wednesday or Thursday before we left.
Yeah.
I hadn't even seen anyone because
So
I
you're
was
talking
in
about
so much
so the game was Saturday.
yeah. and then
Wednesday or Thursday, you're still in hospital.
I was like, I'll go home, and then as I got home, I tried to get out of my car. Lucky my dad was there. I was like, it started getting real bad. Like obviously it kept bleeding.
Yeah.
And then I had to go to the hospital, and I remember the Kof and Simo coming in and going, "Oh, you do not look good." They reckon I was just pale. I was just sore. I was in a fair bit of pain. I was there for a little bit, and then obviously had to fly out and go to the game. Got over there, and I wasn't in a meeting.
In your
I didn't
mind,
see anyone.
was there any situation
whole
where you
time.
weren't playing?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
I
it was
thought
really
I'm
touch and
doomed.
go.
I was doomed, I thought, and then enter Stevie Gravina, who's had a massive part of my whole career, but he was one of our physios at the time.
Who is he, Mr. Miyagi? Did he do that
he
weird
is.
clap thing and
He is
laid
the
on the
Australian-
hands?
Well, we tried everything, so you try and inject it and take the blood out,
Yep.
and then flush it and try to get it moving up, but I couldn't move. And then have you heard of Wim Hof?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this was back in 18 when Wim Hof was just coming out, and Steve Gravina said, "Look, you might think this is funny, but we're going to try to do this Wim Hof breathing."
Yes.
And then all I did for days leading up is I'd lie down and just do this big, deep Wim Hof
Yes,
breathing.
breathing,
And then
yeah.
it just, because it was moving and
That
everything,
was basically pumped it out.
started flushing it that I could just get moving before the captain's run to do a fitness test.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have seen the fitness test. Oh, it was. I don't know how they let.
So like literally, they just let you walk on the ground. Yep, and Simo's like, he's
what
good
did
to go.
you do and how much pain were you in there?
I remember running out, and I ran to the other side of the square and back, and I stood in the same spot
And
for
then
ages,
cried for a bit.
and then just did a couple of kicks, and they said, "Oh, we got to do a bit of a bump and stuff."
You're like, please don't.
And there's cameras and stuff on the ground.
Yeah.
and, mate,
Of
there's
course.
helicopters going over to because it's all the pre-game stuff.
Yeah.
And the club's like, "Oh, we'll do it downstairs." I think.
Yeah,
I said, "Yeah, it's a good idea." And then Tim Jepp's been in the club forever. He goes, "Oh, yeah, I'll tick you off." And I just looked at him and said, like, with my eyes, like, tick me off.
Yeah.
And I did a little bump. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, might need a little bit more." And I just remember gritting my teeth and bumping the bag, and it hurt.
So this is the Friday before the game, yeah?
Yeah, day before. Oh, 2 days before.
So Thursday, yeah.
And then did it, and I looked at him. He goes, "Are you going to be all right?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "All right,
Look at my
well,
eyes.
All right, we'll clear." All right,
God.
no worries. But then we needed the next 20. I was like, "Let's just give me to
Yeah.
deadline." And Simo's like, "Mate, right till deadline."
Yes,
we'll...
yeah. So you had until basically you ran out to
and
decide.
Oscar Allen was the emergency. Young Aussie.
Oh, God, he would have been a child.
Yeah, he was. He was, real.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing of all that was the decision to play.
Yes.
And
they'd
possibly
already had
let
to,
your team down.
Yeah, already had to bring in Will Schofield from nowhere to play it for Shep, who was injured with his hammy.
Yeah, so it was the biggest thing was like you can deal with it when you start playing, but it's like, am I going to be a hindrance to this group and possibly cost?
It's a roll of the
club?
dice, exactly.
So that was the hardest thing to
And
do.
then you broke your ribs during the game.
Yeah, so then Collingwood obviously knew I was a bit sore, and then they were getting into me a fair bit, but they were getting the wrong side.
Suckers.
So I was like,
classic Collingwood, isn't
keep
it?
going. And then, later on in that game, they end up cracking my rib, which was the other side. And then I didn't really realise that I broke it. Not until about 2 weeks after our celebrations.
Yeah, because you
So my
went sober
rib's
for a
still
while.
real sore, and then it ended up didn't heal over that break.
Yeah.
And then I ended up having to get the plates in at the back end of all the early 19. But yeah, that was. I was worried. I remember Chris Masterson going, "Are you all right?" on the bus. And I was like, "Mate, I haven't even thought about the game."
Yeah.
So we're driving to the game. I was like, "I have not even prepped.
Yes.
I haven't. All I've been worried about is trying to get my body going." And then I'm like, Master's
you've
trying to wind me up to have a panic attack.
Yeah. You've
And
done
I'm
no
just there, I'm like,
intel on
holy-
your opponents, nothing. You nothing. You
I
had
hadn't
no...
even gone to not one team meeting. Nothing.
You're in your own room just trying to
So I was
Breathe.
like, wake up. And I was straight with Steve Gravina all day.
Yes.
And we'd do it 3 or 4 times a day, this breathing.
Spoiler alert, it worked out all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out okay. We got going. But, the Wim Hof stuff, by the time I finished, I was holding my breath for about just over 3 minutes.
Wow.
saying, yeah, I've seen a lot about this over the last couple of years.
It's crazy. And your hands get pins and needles, your lips
Yes.
start going funny, and then,
But
it's
at the
weird.
time, people would have been like, "What are you doing to heal yourself?"
And
"Oh,
you're like, I'm breathing.
breathing.
Yeah, literally, I'm doing Wim
Say
Hof. What the hell is Wim Hof?
Wim who?
But that's Steve Gravina. Like he was
Yeah.
always a bit of a lateral thinker and different ways to do
Yeah.
things. So I was lucky that
it came off.
I had him there.
Amazing.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Gov, there's a couple of moments during your career which I always go, I would love to know what's going through your head. One of them is kicking the winning goal. You were able to go forward on a couple of occasions when the games are on the line and have a really big impact. One was against Port Adelaide, I can remember
That's the best.
wholeheartedly.
That one's the best.
But I always, from the outside, go, does he ever get flustered? What goes through your mind when shit's hitting the fan, there's pressure on the game, and in
Siren's
particular,
gone, you've got to kick for goal
that
to win the
shot.
game.
Yeah. To be honest, because I was playing down back, I didn't ever think I'd get in that opportunity.
Didn't you start in the forward line?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. I thought I was a very good forward.
Yeah,
but,
and you're completely different then because you wore number 42 as well.
yeah, of 42s. Yeah. It was. I started. No, my first game was down back,
yeah,
and then Simo just wanted to get me into the side. So Darren Glass come back.
yeah.
JK needed a couple of weeks off, so then
Yep.
I went forward. Finished. Yeah, played 6-7 games back into that year forward, and then we had all those injuries.
Yep.
So end up down back. So but did I get? You're definitely nervous for sure, but I didn't really think about the outcome. I don't think about the outcome. If
What's
that
in your
makes
head
sense.
as you run up? You think, is there any
I just
internal
thought I
monologue?
have to kick through the footy. If I don't kick through it,
Yeah.
I normally, and even that kick that I had was a shank. It was a shank. It wasn't.
Shank.
Sorry, not a complete shank, but I didn't kick it well. But I kicked through it enough that it would. No, momentum would take it the direction I
Nothing quite
wanted.
like that after the siren. Well, that's the dream
that was
when you're a kid, isn't it?
Yeah, that was real good because I wasn't playing too well that day. And then I had an opportunity to get forward and try and get him. And the year before, Boots kicked the goal.
Yeah, he did.
So I think the 2 games that and they should have beaten us. Like, you look at statistics wise,
Yes.
both of those games, they should have beaten us.
The one when Luke Shaw did it, wasn't that the only time you were in front was after the siren one?
Yeah, it was something silly of we had no time in
That's
front until...
heartbreaking. Yeah, that's really heartbreaking for the opposition.
And to do that on their home ground as well in Adelaide.
And I did it the year straight after the next
So
game.
good.
They were good games. I'll cherish those games against Port down there.
Yeah.
We always played pretty well at Adelaide Oval,
Yeah.
and we loved playing there. So those games are always good. But no, I was more not worried about the outcome of what's need. It's just more what I need to do, and a lot of it was kick through the footy, and you run up and all that sort of jazz. And if it's behind the footy, it's try and mark it, and what do we need?
Yeah.
And like even the grand final one, I look back on it and I like go, holy shit! If I drop that,
I know.
or that goes out the back, I am
cooked.
Gone from the guy that started to the guy that lost us grand final. And then you'd be going, but why did he play?
Yeah,
He was injured.
yeah, exactly. The whole narrative changes, doesn't it?
Just from that.
In that blink of an eye. And the fact that you did keep your feet when you took that mark, that was a conscious decision by you?
My coach, Praddy, said, look, you're going to have to go for your marks.
Yeah.
And then keep your feet. Because the keep the feet was a common thing for me.
Yes.
He used to get pissed off that I'd always go to the ground.
Yeah.
And it's just something as a player that you've always got to keep working on.
Yeah.
But I remember him saying, just
So
keep
that voice
keep
is
your
in
feet
your
and go.
head as you take that mark. You're thinking, keep your feet.
I wasn't thinking at all until I landed, and I was like, I've got to go.
You've got to keep moving
because
the
I
ball.
just knew the game we needed to go.
the time
you
was...
went.
It went and it worked out. So But like I look at this play and everyone looks at it differently. But I guess I've marked it, and what am I thinking? I'm not really thinking anything. I'm just doing what I've done and what I learnt at a young age.
You're just business.
Who was the player who never came up and contested you from Collingwood? I'm just trying to see who that is. That the goalie behind the play?
Yeah. So
Mate, I'd be furious at him.
He'd played pretty well until then too.
yeah, to go was playing
had a
Just
great
pretty well.
tracking and just tracking in. That's from a
Yeah.
coaching perspective.
But this
you're going,
this
are you
whole
kidding me?
this whole play for me is like just something that I guess us as players have done forever. I've learnt to just attack the footy, take it its highest point, keep your feet.
You're just in your flow. Your work flow.
Yeah, but then you look at Liam Ryan. Everyone thinks my mark's good.
Yeah, I know.
I honestly think there's no one I've ever seen could take the mark that Liam Ryan
Yes.
took.
I know.
He's
Under pressure like that as
twisted
well.
back 360.
I know.
Oh, mate, it's like unbelievable.
I agree. That was an amazing mark.
But Liam Ryan's been doing that his whole career.
Yeah, he has,
So he's been
exactly.
since he's a little kid.
Yeah.
And then Dom Sheed, every time I see him, he's on his left foot side trying to bang kicks
sliding
from
it
the
from
pocket.
that angle, yeah.
So it's just the way, when I look at that, it's like that's just from a junior
Yes.
age of doing things that we've just always done. And that play sort of worked out, which was really nice. But I look at it in a little bit different way.
Yeah, I bet.
When did the penny drop to become a professional in the sense of being at the top level, being a professional of AFL? By that, I mean it was a struggle for your early days. There's people questioning you.
Yeah.
When
And rightly so.
When did it go?
When the stories about you being too fat for Fat Club come out, you go, oh, that's a bit harsh.
Yeah, I set a lot of records in that space. I still wasn't the worst. Scotty Cummins was worse, and Ash Sampy.
Morning, Scotty.
Yep.
But I was top 3 for the highest skin folds for a while there. But it sort of, the penny dropped a bit when Simo sent me away, banished me. But then even after that, I was still, like my whole career, even to now, I was still just trying to even get better and more professional.
Yeah.
And the last probably 4 or 5 years, I felt I got on top of everything and started, and
You're in that groove.
I just kept getting injured.
Yeah.
Like I was, that was the hardest bit, is that I'm doing everything now and I'm trying and I'm,
It's almost like you needed that bit of extra weight on you to prevent injury.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
That's harsh, isn't it?
Maybe, but
Yeah.
and the game's changed, like the demands of the game's changed, so you have to adapt to the game. And
for sure.
the last probably 5 years, it's changed a lot, so I just had to keep getting better. And a lot of it for me wasn't as much my footy; it was more my preparation,
Yes.
how I'm training, pre-seasons, off-seasons, all that sort of stuff was my issue.
To look after your body as much as you could.
What are you hoping your legacy is?
I don't know. I just hope everyone just thought I was a good footballer, a professional footballer.
And a good guy.
Not athlete. Because I was never a professional athlete. I felt like I was a professional footballer.
No doubt.
And that's all those small things and all the things about our game, the skills, fundamentals, knowing where to go, smarts, all that. That's what I've always valued. I feel like everyone sort of looked at me and thought, he's not that good because he's probably way overweight at times, which is fair. But yeah, for me, I just hope everyone just looked at me like I was a footballer, a proper footballer.
You're a 5-time All-Australian. You're a proper footballer.
No, there's no doubt about it. And I reckon a lot of people in hindsight would go, during that period when you first got picked up by the West Coast Eagles, they're going, we're looking for athletes. And it's proven them wrong. People who know how to play football, which is Gov, that's where the answer is.
You can turn them into an athlete, but it's harder to turn an athlete into a footballer.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
It's wise words, Nat.
I feel like it's very hard to teach natural and skill and all those sorts of things.
Those football smarts.
I'm just lucky I had the West Coast environment, and like I said, there's so many people that have had massive impacts.
Yeah.
They've all played a part. I had to do it a lot myself as well. Obviously, it comes back down to the individual. If you want it and you want to, you've got to do it yourself. But if you've got an environment that there's a lot of good people in that environment to help you.
Yep.
You got to utilise them, and I did. And Martin Nikoski was one when I first got banished. Steve Gravina and a lot of good leaders like Shannon Hearns, Luke Shuey's. These guys that just behind closed doors are the ones helping you.
Yeah. Yep.
But it was. Yeah, the career was great. Yeah. But a lot of it I owe a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to help me.
No, that's right.
I wanted to help myself, but when I showed everyone that I wanted to help myself, that's when
people stood up for you.
And that's fair enough because, I can't be expecting everyone to do everything for you.
No, that's right.
You do it
you're
yourself.
a legit legend of the club. There's no doubt about it. We love you. We'll talk again next week. You're not going anywhere from our point of view.
Yeah,
you're still our West Coast Eagle for the rest of the season. So
awesome.
Thanks for coming in, Gov, and spending some extra time today. It's been great to reflect on your glittering career.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.